So welcome to our Transform talk. Today I'm going to be talking to Alona and Amy, and I will introduce them both to you very shortly. But just to give you a bit of context to the conversation today, we set off last year to start a transformation program for Webgains and engage in a conversation with the wider community about the transformation of the affiliate marketing space and the challenges that we face as an industry and indeed the opportunities that the affiliate marketing space gives to businesses, large and small. And we had some brilliant conversations during 2020 Transform, and we're looking forward to Transform 2021. But we thought it was worth continuing that conversation through the year and building and talking about the opportunities in a bit more detail. So we're looking at 2021 as the year of affiliate marketing. I'm going to introduce you now to Alona. Alona is our UK Managing Director here at Webgains. With over 15 years of experience in digital, Alona's worked across various channels, including PPC, display and affiliate marketing. And I know she's got a lot of great insight to share with us, not simply in affiliate marketing itself, but in context of the wider kind of marketing mix. And I'm also really pleased to welcome Amy. Amy Spencer's our COO at Webgains. And she's also got great, well, I think probably almost a decade now of experience in the affiliate marketing sector across global markets, and she's built a fantastic network of relationships with publishers, advertisers and agencies alike. So welcome to both of you today.
Thank you, Natasha. Great to be here.
So Alona, I'm going to start with you. I think if we just look at, of course, you know, so much challenge and adversity for so many individuals through the last sort of 12 months, and so much, I guess, sort of hope for the future as we're kind of entering a brave new era. But what are your hopes and fears for the market this year?
I mean, of course, the hope. I would probably like to talk about hopes more than fears. It would be great, of course, to see some of the industries kind of resurfacing, travel and entertainment. I think there are early signs that the fashion is kind of coming back also on top of the revenue streams, and we are actually seeing much wider product mix being sold now, comparing to, for example, I don't know, last 6 months or so, where vast majority of things sold on the fashion side were probably pajamas and kind of homeware. So it's nice to see that there is a little bit of a diversification now happening in fashion. And I think we all hope for travel to come back soon, and entertainment, of course, to come back soon. The other bit, I guess, it would be very interesting to see if we'll watch some new startups and scale-ups popping up across different industries and different sectors as well, because generally I think any crisis is an opportunity for new businesses to appear, and that would be interesting to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, lots of opportunities opening up, I think, in our kind of landscape. Amy, what are your thoughts? And you can dwell on the fears if you want to, but I'm also happy to see more hopes.
I'll mention some of the fears that are on my radar, but I just wanted to also kind of reiterate Alona's point. I think with the change that we've seen throughout 2020, good and bad, it does bring more opportunities, and I'm really excited to see some of the emerging companies that are finding ways to kind of harness these opportunities and deliver new ways of marketing to their consumers, to even deliver new products, and to kind of really grow with this shift. And I think, you know, as part of this conversation, we'll be talking about transformation, and we'll be talking about the opportunities that it brings in more detail. But obviously, you know, I really hope that this year it does bring the opportunity for us to meet face to face and collaborate. I know a lot of people in the industry get so much buzz and creativity and you know, passion from coming together. And it, you know, for a long time we spoke about how the industry was built on relationships, and it is challenging doing that via video call after video call. So I think at some point in the year, you know, my hope is that we can all meet together, and we can support our clients and our publishers, and spend some time with them face to face at some point. I think from the fear side of things, obviously with the change, it can present a struggle. And, you know, 2020 for some businesses, it was all about survival. So it was all about moving into that survival move, changing their operations so that they could still pay their employees on time, and they could get by. So hopefully for those companies, you know, they're over the worst, and they can look forward into 2021 and look forward to start growing again. But I think there's certainly that survival piece that we need to be aware of, especially in some of the verticals that Alona mentioned, like travel. I think obviously at the moment there's so much news around our high street and around, you know, acquisitions that are happening, and it will be really sad to see if we do lose some of those you know, iconic high street brands. It does sound like the online operational side of things are being rescued, which is really, really positive. But I think it will be really interesting to see how that changes, you know, over this year, and what will become of our high street. You know, there's already a lot of kind of thought process out there, or thought leadership around the fact that physical stores will have to become more experiential, and you know, consumers will have to get more from going into the high street than they previously had. But that is a fear of mine, and you know, it's a change that I think we'll have to embrace as consumer behaviours change. But yeah, it will be sad to see some of those brands go if we do actually lose them.
Yeah, it's amazing hearing the news this week, wasn't it, about ASOS has paid for the kind of the Topshop, you know, those kind of brands, and you know, and the brand equity, and how, you know, and how important brand equity is, you know, and I completely agree. You know, some classics of high street brands that we all grew up with, that be really, really tragic to see them going, and they really need to make that kind of leap, and make, you know, we talked about digital transformation. So hopefully they're all, you know, they're all on that journey, on that program. But yeah, I mean, Alona, in terms of, you know, that kind of concept of transformation, I think, and that leap that people are having to make, what do you see as being the kind of core? There's an obvious answer to this, but what other core drivers do you see for change right now for retail, for e-commerce?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's this very, very natural somehow change right now, because a lot of brands just don't have a choice but kind of to digitalize their operations, and to switch a lot of their sales efforts into online, pretty much, you know, the majority of it. So that's, I guess, that's the main driver. Market is the driver, and then of course. I think it's going to be probably a lot around also just going in deep in terms of the detailed, customized experience, because we are still, I mean, if you think about it, this experimental and yeah, kind of an entertaining bit of the shopping. There is a long way for online to have the same feeling that which a shopper would have in a physical store, because it's very difficult to kind of touch the product to understand how it looks. Some of it, of course, can be done by video. But for example, if you think about fragrance, I wonder how the fragrance brands will tackle the purely online experience, because it's all about the kind of tactile and smell and all these things. So I think there are a lot of developments around how to make this shopping online very, very customized and very personal and individual. We probably will see some some transformation there, I would think.
Yeah, I totally agree, Alona. I think how the affiliate channel can respond to consumers wanting to window shop or experience products is going to be really, really interesting. And I think it's still an area that needs to develop, but there are so many publishers out there that can help with that, help with the inspirational piece that customers want when they're shopping. Probably historically, people shopping online, maybe they had a bit more of an idea of what they wanted to purchase, whereas shopping on the high street, you'd go for inspiration and to browse and to window shop sometimes. So kind of the blurring of those two elements, I think, will be really, really interesting. And I do think the affiliate channel is really well positioned to kind of, I guess, facilitate that and to kind of address some of those issues that consumers might face. So I think that will be really, really interesting to see how publishers respond to that and how they can present window shopping and work with brands on that. I also think that, especially in 2020, and it looks like it's continuing, consumers are also driving different behaviors in terms of they're wanting, or they're holding brands up to a higher I guess standard, and there's a lot more conversation around ethical brands, there's a lot more conversation around value, and I think it, again, publishers working with brands to understand how they communicate that into the wider mix, I think is another opportunity. And I think in a way consumers are becoming more and more demanding, because they're wanting better value, they're wanting their products delivered on time. Consumers want a lot, especially now they can't just nip to their high street and get an item. So I think all of these changes, it presents opportunities for both publishers and brands within the channel to really kind of listen to what consumers are wanting, and to look at the trends and to look at this information and to present their propositions that are aligned to it. And I think that's what's really exciting about our channel as well, is because we know that these players can move quickly. There's a lot of very agile companies in the channel who can adjust their operations and adjust the way they work in the channel to hopefully meet these needs. So it will be really interesting to see which of the partners step up and can deliver on this, and which of the partners don't.
I completely agree. Actually, I guess we are fortunate within this channel, because a lot of tests are possible because of the affordability of the channel and the payment models which we offer, and which a lot of affiliates are kind of embrace, and there is a lot of flexibility which you wouldn't see in any other really digital channel. And I think we are seeing already quite a lot of interesting partners, and those which we would traditionally not necessarily think that they could be an affiliate on a program, but year after year we prove that this is a perfect channel to test new opportunities and new kind of tools and on-site conversion tools, or some retargeting and prospecting partners, and much more than that.
Yeah, there's a lot that has changed, I think, certainly from my experience, even in the last sort of year, kind of working more closely in the channel. And and I think there's some really interesting drivers, as we said, whether that's the kind of digital or you know, or cultural, or, you know, whatever they might be. But in terms of, you know, really, you know, just true disruption and opening up market opportunity and really kind of driving the channel, what do you see as the biggest sort of, you know, blockers? I know we've had conversations before about kind of technology developments and things being automated, but what really needs to shift to really kind of open this up as a channel now for people to really kind of get more engaged with?
Amy, do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a great question, and I think, as you said, we were talking about this the other day around how a lot of the channel, you know, we talk around automation, and we talk around kind of new technical developments within the channel, which is great, and there's so many examples of companies that are doing it really well. You know, they're introducing ML and AI modules into the way they work, but it still seems to be only certain aspects of the industry and only certain kind of aspects of, I guess, somebody's working, the work that they do. It's not the full circle. And I think when we were looking at this earlier on in the week, we were talking about how, you know, really to accelerate, to grow, and for the channel to overcome some of the frustrations and some of the challenges that that we see, really being able to automate more of the channel will be really key to the success, I think. And a lot of it is still very manual. And I think it's, you know, that there's pros and cons to it. You know, we talk about, like I said earlier, that the industry is a relationship industry, and I think that then lends to a lot of it being very manual, and campaigns being booked in manual, and relationships being developed over time manually. So I think that there's this kind of push and pull around, do you automate or do you keep that manual relationship-led element to the way that you work? And I think that is, you know, it's a really important one for the industry to kind of discuss and address and overcome how to move forward with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've obviously at Webgains invested heavily in the technology, but also in the talent, haven't we? And I think those two things combined really are what set us apart. It's so much about those relationships, and you can see that in the conversations that are happening day to day, but also at a kind of very high level in terms of the way that we engage with our kind of partners. And it's about really engaging with their business strategy and helping them to kind of transform and as you say, to accelerate their growth. Alona, you know, from your perspective, you know, what do you think the future holds? I mean, what do you think we're going to be looking at sort of towards the back end of this year? What is Q4 going to be?
I think, I mean, in terms of the kind of innovation and needs of the channel, there is still a lot to go when it comes to transparency, and when it comes to potentially actually certain control. So when we are speaking with a lot of brands, one of the maybe worries that they would need to let go quite a lot of control when they are working with publishers. So a lot of advertisers prefer to work with a kind of limited amount of affiliates, because there is a little bit of a lack of transparency across the channel. And this is something which we want to encourage our affiliates to work on, because essentially there is this channel has all the potential to scale as much as possible, but with scale also comes, I guess, a lot of responsibility. So there is still, I think that when we are speaking with some of the publishers, there is a little bit of a resistance to do some sort of thorough forecasts or analysis of the campaigns, or the kind of personalized recommendation. And this is something that advertisers are expecting to see when they are planning to spend, you know, serious budgets rather than pure CPA kind of run campaigns. So I think there is work around more transparency, automation definitely, and I guess more dialogue, yeah, between publishers and advertisers.
Yeah, definitely, and I definitely feel that with the market as it is right now and the opportunities opening up, there's only one direction of travel, and hopefully that kind of rising tide as we all kind of collaborate, sort of more effectively and share knowledge, with things like the Webgains Academy, at our heart, and and working together with the marketplace, I think, to improve standards, to look at things like GDPR and the challenges that we've all been facing, sort of trading through coronavirus. I think it's only going to improve, and I think hopefully we can really kind of empower and help to drive the economy kind of moving forward. So yeah, I don't know if either of you want to make a closing statement. Unfortunately, we've run out of time for today, but I'm really keen to kind of continue this conversation with you both. Is there anything that you want to just say in conclusion, Amy? Have you got any final thoughts?
Like you say, I think there's so much in here for us to continue to dissect and discuss, and I'm really looking forward to future conversations that we have on this. I think we've touched on some of the drivers for change that we've already seen, and I think, I guess from my perspective, I see that there is so much opportunity, even though there's struggle, and even though a lot of companies, like I said, are in survival mode. I think being able to take a bit of a step back and look at the trends and look at what is happening in the industry is so important. And that's why it's nice taking some time out of the day to have a conversation like this, because we get so caught up in the day to day, and it's so busy that actually just taking a bit of time to actually look at what's going on in the industry, have conversations with colleagues, with peers, with other companies, it is really, really important. So I think yeah, thank you for facilitating today, and I'm really looking forward to future conversations.
Great, thank you both so much for your time today, and yeah, looking forward to an ongoing conversation with you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Natasha. It was great. Thank you.